Hey everyone. From the outside, Wanda Sykes has always looked like the unstoppable force of comedy. Sharp-tongued, fearless, brilliantly expressive, and willing to slice through hypocrisy with the precision of a surgeon and the timing of a master comic. But what most fans never truly understood is that behind the laughter, behind the power, behind the iconic voice that became a staple of stand-up specials, sitcoms, films, and political commentary, there exists a deeper journey filled with heartbreak, sacrifice, rejection, identity battles, loneliness, and moments that pushed her to the brink of disappearing from the spotlight entirely. Because long before she became one of the most recognizable comedic voices in the world, Wanda was a young woman raised in a strict conservative household in Virginia, navigating the suffocating expectations placed upon her as a Black woman in an environment that never fully embraced her humor, her ambition, or her identity. And when she finally found the courage to step onto the stage for the first time, she was carrying not just jokes, but the weight of a lifetime spent holding back pieces of herself. And even though her talent eventually launched her into the national spotlight, first through stand-up, then through The Chris Rock Show, then through film and television, Wanda quickly discovered that fame does not shield you from pain because success came with its own brutal demands. Endless scrutiny, racist backlash, homophobic attacks, and the constant pressure to be both representative and revolutionary without ever showing cracks in the armor. And when she finally came out publicly in 2008, it was not a glamorous moment of celebration, but an emotional breaking point triggered by political frustration during the fight for marriage equality, and though her honesty inspired millions, it also cost her relationships, professional opportunities, and the sense of safety she once felt in her own skin. Her parents struggled to accept her truth. Extended family distanced themselves, and she found herself navigating an unfamiliar world where the very audiences who once championed her suddenly turned against her, leaving Wanda to rebuild her confidence piece by piece while simultaneously facing the devastating private battles that fame never prepared her for, including the physical toll of years spent touring, the emotional exhaustion of constantly performing Strength, and the near life-stopping moment when she was diagnosed with breast cancer and forced to undergo a double mastectomy, an event she revealed only after surviving the darkest, most terrifying stretch of her life, a period in which she questioned her future, her purpose, and her ability to continue giving laughter to a world that had no idea she was fighting for her own survival. And even after recovering, Wanda confronted another heartbreaking reality: Hollywood's selective love, a system that adored her talent but repeatedly sidelined her, limited her roles, typecast her voice, and ignored her brilliance as a writer, producer, and storyteller, pushing her into a career phase where she had to carve out opportunities for herself because the industry would not willingly give them to her. And while she eventually regained momentum through stand-up, through voice work, through Blackish, through the Upshaws, through political commentary, she was still carrying the scars of decades spent trying to be seen for more than just a punchline. Scars from being dismissed, underestimated, and silenced in rooms where she deserved to be celebrated. And perhaps the greatest tragedy of Wanda Sykes' story is not a single dramatic moment, but the relentless emotional cost of being a groundbreaking Black lesbian comedian in a world that often punishes those who refuse to shrink themselves, because Wanda has lived a life marked by courage, resilience, reinvention, and survival, but also by loneliness, rejection, familial fractures, public backlash, cancer battles, industry obstacles, and the heavy responsibility of always being strong enough to laugh through it all, even when her heart was breaking. Yet despite everything she endured, the world never truly stopped to see the human being behind the powerhouse performer. The woman who kept going not because the road was easy, but because stopping would mean surrendering pieces of herself she fought too long to reclaim, making Wanda Sykes' story not just tragic, but profoundly inspiring. A reminder that sometimes the funniest people in the world are the ones who have suffered the most and the ones who deserve the deepest recognition for surviving what others never even knew they were battling. Thanks for watching.